Good morning, SageMaker.
Yeah, here we go. Like a little crew is getting loaded up on the top. Look at everybody's happy, smiling icon faces there today. Definitely a mixed set of pictures. Rancher?
It's 5:30 for you, Mark?
Yeah, 5:30. Still dark here. Still dark. Waiting
What
for.
11?
Let's see. People still falling in? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, do we want to just get started and let people slowly filter in?
I think that sounds great, Michelle. Why don't you kick us off?
Sweet. Let's talk about a little bit of what happened this week. It wasn't a super exciting week for updates. There was no competition or anything this week, but everyone spent a lot of time practicing for food parcels, which has been fun to watch as everyone tries to figure out how to balance their honey, their jam, and their baguettes all at the same time. Not an easy build. Thanks, Mal.
More than welcome.
We did send out those July 26th competition rewards, which everyone was super excited to see. The Grand Oaks haven't been sent yet, but hopefully early next week. I think. I don't know if Top Boy Q knows when those are coming out.
Yeah, working on it, targeting next week. Yeah, next week is what I feel comfortable saying.
Perfect. And then we just got the one other Gala one from last week competition to catch up on, and we'll be all caught back up. There was still some bugs in the live game with no cash for sales and the Dragon Auto Sell still not working so great as it tends to prioritize things on the top of your list versus things on the bottom of your list. We are working on those bugs. Hopefully we'll get them figured out soon. And the only other thing that happened this week was the Beacon of Light sale, which went super smooth. And I believe just sold out a couple minutes ago, which was awesome to see. So congratulations to everyone who got one. I'd like to see some nice screenshots of those and everyone's builds next week when we get into the competition.
I'm just looking at people's notes in the discussion channel. You guys have questions, pop them in there so that we can get to them in a minute. Moo G, I see you. Oh, hard G. Okay, smooth G. Gotcha. So should we just go into the questions that you collected, Michelle?
Yeah, let's jump through these and then we can take some live questions after. The first question I have is there a possibility to open up the reward structure in the competition to 1,500 people at least?
Yes, yes. We know the pain. Any kind of game player knows the pain of never getting to the top of the ladder, and also how it seems like the same players always seem up at the top there. So we're looking at that. It's really about balancing out the rewards. Maybe spreading them out a little bit more. Maybe creating different categories for different types of competitions, so that it's we can mix it up a bit. And I know, Mal's really good at figuring this stuff out as we look at Town Star Forever. And new competition modes we're adding there, we're definitely considering it. Mal, did you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I believe we can definitely find different styles of competition. It's right now we haven't got the ability to do it, so we're obviously stuck in the standard type of competition. But I do believe in the future there's so many suggested from the community types of ways we can do it. There's community people making their own ways to do different types of competition. So I do think it won't always just feel like that same just gloomy ladder that you're looking at.
That's cool. That's cool. Next question.
The next question I have is the Townstar development server was closed and why? And I have a little background on that. The development server was open when we were doing Ledger of Truth testing. That was quite a few months ago now, at least it feels like it was. And then we closed that one down because we had finished what we needed to do for the Ledger of Truth testing for the time being until we move over to Godot and get a new engine going. And I imagine it'll be replaced at some point by an alpha of the new game whenever that time comes. And we'll probably be looking for testers.
Yes, we will be looking for testers. The only question is when. And that, if we don't have a specific date on it, and boy, I want to project and just predict, but we'll wait till we have the date for sharing stuff. But I can tell you, Godot is coming along very well. Maybe Volcron can tell us a little bit more about that when we get to that part. What's the next question?
Next question is, what are your thoughts on the current town power system, and will there be any changes on that?
Oh, town power. Yeah. Town power was put in place early 2022, right? Earlier this year to help manage the economy and primarily kind of tune the emissions. We're going to have something, similar in the new economy model, but this figuring that out is a little bit, more complex than most people imagine because we're building up a new meta gameplay, expanding the game design space while taking into account existing objects. And we're going to be working hard not to change those objects, kind of as we're building Townstar Forever. So part of this, the whole goal, and we've talked about this before, is just to make sure we start out with a new economy model on Townstar Forever, make sure that it's solid, make sure it's something that is fair to everybody. Not just take some time. I know that some people are a little bit anxious for that, wondering when it's going to happen. All I can say is that the team is still working on it.
Awesome. I'm sure there's a ton of work happening with economy changes, and as soon as we have information, we'll for sure share it.
Yeah, that's true. We'll put out a white paper. We have diagrams and more diagrams, and be testing with spreadsheet modeling. So there's quite a bit of work. We want to make sure we get it right.
Definitely. The next question I have in terms of economy is, will there ever be upgradable NFTs? There's a lot more to the question, but I'm not going to read it because it's long and it's got a lot of numbers. Will there ever be upgradable NFTs?
Yes, that is something that I definitely know is going to be part of Townstar Forever. The question is how we implement them, but it's a cool idea, and we talked about transforming or transitioning or importing, whichever word you want to use, your Townstar Live, the current game we call it Townstar Live for the new people here, your Townstar Live NFTs into Townstar Forever. We'll have the option of leaving them. You can keep your Townstar Live NFTs as they are. Or, my current thinking is that when we give players the option to import those into Townstar Forever and get some new features or some new utility or abilities or something new that makes them different and a little bit more special. But we're figuring those out right now. I know I'm saying we're figuring out a lot of these things, but our first goal is get the core game up and playing, and then we'll expand it as we go forward. That's all I have on that one, Michelle.
Awesome. The next one is pretty much the same as the first one. Will the Gala and Town wallet requirements for Gala Power be changing or staying the same? Which I feel like you pretty much addressed in the first question.
Yeah. So Town Power, Gala Power, all of those things, they were kind of added again. I can't remember when Gala Power was first added, but they were added to try to help the economy. As we revamp everything, my goal is to try to keep it as simple as possible. And so I could even imagine one of those two concepts going away, just simplify everything, make things easier for players to understand and easier for us to keep the economy healthy.
All right, the next question I have is, will there be achievements and badges in Townstar Forever?
I love achievements. I love achievements in what I call mastery. And of course, you get badges for those things. But when I look at achievements, we've seen them in games before, achievement unlocked. And mastery is a little bit different, so I'll explain. When I think about achievements, I think about, grow all of the citrus fruits in the game. So you grow each batch of each one of those. And mastery would be like grow 1,000 citrus fruits, and something like that. But just two different flavors of accomplishments. And then, of course, badges are fun too because just kind of highlight and let you show off, what you've been able to do as a player. So I'm a big believer in those. So yes, we'll have those.
The next question we have here is Townstar Live versus Townstar Forever porting of NFTs. Is this bidirectional?
Bidirectional, yeah. I was thinking about this question because I saw it. Maybe, well, I'm not quite sure what you mean porting. If you mean importing, or if you mean sort of like some sort of translation between you have it work in Townstar Live, then you translate it to work in Townstar Forever, and then we kind of back translate it to work in Townstar Live again. What I can tell you is that right now the intention is when you take your NFT that you have in Townstar Live and you convert it over to Townstar Forever, that will be a one-way trip. I don't imagine us going backwards because, the future is Townstar Forever. And let's see. Some people ask about gas fees. We will be building Townstar Forever on the Gala chain. And so I think what you're going to find out is as we transfer over to that, there's going to be gas fees will be significantly less. I don't know what's going to happen with the ETH merge coming up or what's going to happen to gas fees, but I can tell you, just as we were having a meeting yesterday talking about the chain and how Townstar is going to fit into it, there's a lot of stuff we can do once we have Townstar on our own chain, including reduce significant reduction in gas fees. So to kind of sum that up, it'll be one way when you move it over to, take your Townstar Live NFT and move it into Townstar Forever. And we won't be going backwards, and then gas fees in that when we're on our own chain will be much, much cheaper.
I see a lot of people in the chat seem very confused about the process, which is understandable. I'm also slightly confused still, but we'll figure it out.
Let's talk. Let's see. Let me go over to chat and take a look.
We've got
What's the biggest confusion?
Sorry. We've got one that says from Ed777. It says, we don't understand what you were saying about converting NFTs. What does that even mean?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so right now, we have our NFTs in Townstar built on, Ethereum chain, right? And you can take them out and sell them to OpenSeas. When we move to Townstar Forever, we're going to be built on top of the Gala chain. And so those NFTs will be based upon, the Gala chain itself instead of Ethereum. And what we want to do is offer the opportunity for you to keep your Townstar Live NFT just as it is and use it in Townstar Forever. But also the idea of, hey, if you'd like to get more features, more functionality, going to be part of the shiny new cool thing, we'll offer the option to import it, to carry it over, transform it, whichever one you want to use to be part of the Gala chain. Is that clear? Is that a little bit more helpful? Ed 777, you were the one that asked the question, but anybody else can chime in there too.
We've got one from Temjuan. Sorry, I'm not sure if I pronounced your name properly. If we decide to not convert our NFT to Townstar Forever, will they be unusable, and can we earn from them?
Will they be unusable? They'll still be usable. The intention is to allow you to keep using it as you were using it before. Now the question is about earning. We're still figuring that part out for Townstar Forever. But yeah, it's sort of like saying, I don't know, say it. It's like you can keep your NFT and use it as it was, or you can upgrade it to get some new features. And when I say new features, we got to figure that out for each one. My intention is that we'll look at across all of them and come up with some general guidelines, and then maybe some special things for the individuals that we need to adjust as we look at each one individually. Is that helpful? Is that a little bit more clear in what it means to kind of convert your NFTs?
I think the only other thing people are still confused about is if they'll be able to use their NFTs in both, which I assume means competition mode and the persistent mode.
Right. Yeah, I think to me that's the curious question, and when I look at it, I want to give you the truthful answer is we'll look at it and figure it out as we nail down the competition modes. We know you'll be able to use them in the persistent mode, in the forever mode, and it makes sense to me right now if we have competition modes be a mode of the game that you'll be able to use those NFTs also in your competition mode. It kind of makes sense that way because that kind of feels like if you build up a deck, if you will, or a town, you get to use those pieces in a competition. That's what it makes sense to me. I mean, maybe somebody will be able to convince me different, but until they do, that's my sense of what we'll do.
That's really all I have for questions from the forums because nobody is asking us questions except for the same questions that we keep answering every week, and nobody wants an AMA with the same questions answered every single week over and over again. The only other one that people did submit that we weren't really sure what the answer was that Townstar can be very punishing if you build the wrong build on the wrong spot. How will this be addressed in the rebuild? And we weren't 100% sure what that question even meant.
Yeah, if someone asks that question and can write, kind of explain a bit more in the discussion channel, that would be great.
You guys think that the game is punishing out there? Well, we've got a request for dad jokes.
Oh man, okay. Ed77, there will be upgrades. So imagine expansion, not reduction. We will grow them. Our intention is to make you players, you, everybody else, happy. Last question was land rush. Interesting. I don't know. If someone has a note on that last question, and maybe is it just like moving buildings is expensive or hard or something? Is that what people are asking about?
I feel like it's a land rush issue. What I will say on that, I was speaking with Farmer Michelle last night, telling her some ideas that I want to do that should be fairly soon and definitely take some of the pressure off land rush, just in the current live version for sure.
Let's see. So we've got our schedule. I was looking down our list. Thank you for sharing that. That's the last of the questions that we have. Did we want to check in? So we've got folks like Volcron and Resource, Top Boy here. Do we want to just check in and kind of say hello to everybody? Let them chat for a moment. Tell us about what's going on. What do you guys think? Little off script, little improvisation.
Yeah, I don't have too much to talk about, but Mal, I was gonna ask you. You think we should tell him what we have for sale the week after next week?
That is, yeah. I mean, they definitely like to know these things, so you can share away if you wish.
All right.
Yeah, go for it.
So we don't have a sale next week. Most of us are off on Monday and figured, we'd take a break for a week. But the week after that, we're looking to sell two things actually, which I think the community is going to be very pleased about. Mal, I want to give you a chance to mention them because you can talk a little bit about the utility and why people would want to have those things.
So, and a bit of an unusual type of NFT compared to what we've done before, but I'm just seeing this. I know one of them's definitely been suggested before, so I'll start with that one, and that's Pave Roads. I know I'm someone who would just like to have paved roads from the very moment I start my town. I'd like to be able to just place a bunch of them, have all that speedy units and whatnot. So Pave Roads NFTs, yes, Willow, that's right. So the next one after that will be a legendary tree farms, and If anyone knows how much space a wood takes, well, these ones require a lot less water and they grow quicker. So this will be a legendary tree farm, still needs water, but very, very little water, and it grows quicker. So that will be just like a placeable tree farm as a normal one is, but it will be an NFT version and a legendary tree farm. Below says he needs both of these.
Thanks for sharing that, Mal. It looks like they're liking it in the chat.
I'm excited for them.
I love your accent, Mel. You're such a blast. You're like, I need that in me town. You're adorable.
I need it in me town too.
I definitely need me some Pave Roads, 100%.
Resource.
You want to talk about cost? Or no? Mr. Potty Mouth is asking us what the cost of these utilities are. I wondered if we wanted to point that out.
I don't know if I want to give that away just yet. Maybe.
That means we're still figuring it out. We're still doing the math on that.
We are doing the math on that. I think for the paved roads, it's pretty locked in. So maybe I can share that.
Yeah, we're pretty happy on the Pave Roads, I think.
Yeah, and I think the price point is going to be pretty satisfactory to everyone looking to purchase. It is a standard item. We're looking to price that at $40. It's going to be a high supply mint, but $40 we think is a pretty reasonable price for that.
Yeah,
What's
this is something.
Supply mint?
Yeah, this is something we want that can be there so people can get them. It's not like a quick dash and it's gone and, you've got 2 days to get them and then only who got them then owns them. None of that. This is a nice big mint, so they're going to be there so people can get them as they please.
That's cool. There's some questions that are coming about it. You guys dive into the discussion on that? Take a look.
Yeah, so it's one road. Is just standard. It's the same as placing one paved road in game, but it's just an NFT version, so you would need each road per square. Each paved road per square.
What are the questions that we have in there? We watching?
I did see one. Let me see here. Oh, I got, will Townstar Forever have a real economic with dynamic prices across all items to balance supply and demand, which I didn't get a response to when I asked a follow-up question. Oh, there it is. Yes.
Yeah. So
this craft's in the game.
So will we have dynamic pricing? There's so many parts about pricing as we look at the economic. Are you talking about selling goods?
Yeah, they're talking about within the game.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we kind of brought this up before. And the question is kind of related to, will we have AI in the game? And I know Mal and I have been talking about the idea of having dynamic pricing in town, somehow sent according to what's happening in the geography around them. Maybe some AIs that are there kind of calculating and, setting that up. I think the whole key in that is that a lot of people, when they think about dynamic pricing and things automatically set and systems doing the work for you. Over all my career, whenever I hear people talking about that, I always know there's a next step to it. You can get the system up and working, but then the question, is it fun? Right? And I'm always the one that will err on the side of not having a big fancy AI system and instead just having fun is the priority. So we'll look at that. But intellectually and mentally at the top level, it does feel like, yes, if we had this dynamic pricing system, it'll be more fun. I think it'll be different. It'll add some, new activities in the game to thinking. But my goal is to make sure that we create the fun for players. What else do we got to chat about today?
We got a question about NFT interoperability between other Gala games.
Oh, yes, interoperability, the dream, Web3. What will it be? Yes. This one, we're still in the process of, we got to get the base game up and going. And I believe once we do that, we'll be able to unlock unlock using other NFTs. And when I say that, it can be anything from showing a picture of an NFT to actually having a full functional NFT from another game inside of our game. We'll have to see. I know I've been looking at, there's different industry organizations that are publishing formats that are trying to get to a standard. I think what we'll do is probably just get one working first and check how that looks and then move on from there. But that is definitely secondary to getting the game up and playing and fun. Feels like my coffee's kicking in right now. Hopefully I'm a little bit more clear and more articulate. Which will come first, Jiri, Town Star Forever, or Spider Tank's launch? Let's see. Well, I can answer that since Spider Tanks needs to launch on top of Jiri. Obviously, you have to have Jiri first. And then my belief it's going to be, then the question comes is, will Town Star launch before Spider Tanks? I'm not sure. I think we may get some playables of Town Star Forever. And I think they announced Spider Tank's launch on October 31st. So I think we'll have both of them. But Town Star Forever, we'll have some people playing, I believe, before then. But not 100% sure we're going to get the final sort of beta release before Spider Tank's launches. Yeah, Crazy Town, Spider Tanks is on top of Jiri, so, and I know that the Jiri team's working hard for that.
We've got some questions from, let's see, where is that? Moise M, just asking about the AI of the units in the game. I don't know if we have anything we can say about how the AI will work differently than how it does now, probably in terms of the logger conga lines that we all love and adore.
Maybe Volcron, you could jump in and chat about that. How do you see? I haven't checked in on what the latest AI code is doing or to revamp the system.
Yeah, that's a good question. So right now, what we have them doing is walking, basically ghosting through buildings, watering, of course, what needs watered, harvesting what needs to be harvested. We're wanting to reach feature parity first, and then experiment with more interesting AI. That's about all I could say right now. There's definitely 7
Wait
or 8.
a minute, I almost detected a leak popping out there.
I have a visual aid I could drop into the channel, but no, I think right now there's certainly a lot of excitement about AI. I've done a lot of game AI myself, but I agree with SageMaker here that it's way more important to have fun than it is to get fixated on what kind of interesting neural nets and genetic algorithms are we running and machine learning and all this. I'd rather have a dumb algorithm that is fun to play with than something that is academically really cool. I don't know if that answers the question, but I guess to talk about the gameplay itself, there's right now about 7 or 8 really cool ideas in the background that depart a bit from Town Star Live, but we want to make sure that they're fun before we implement them and push them into the game.
Yeah, some of the challenges, and this is what I know about the challenges in the current AI. There's some frustration where, pathfinding. Do they pick the right path? There's some frustration on, do they prioritize the right work? Do they deliver the stuff to the place that you need? I don't know, before maybe your silo gets filled up with something else accidentally. And so when I talked with, I can't remember what his Discord tag is, basically Mike McCarthy, about it a few weeks back, he kind of explained how there's a priority system for each of the workers, including farmers and ranchers and listening, and how the system kind of works, just on sort of priorities. And I was talking with our new lead game designer, who we introduced last week, about how we could modify those. And he was looking through the Townstar Live data and the prioritization, and his view was just we could make some data changes to possibly make some of that pathfinding and prioritization work much better. So we'll see. There's one thing, and then of course we can rewrite that system. But as Volkran said, we'll get to parity first, and then we'll go ahead and upgrade. Let's see. I see some from Lolo Calbo. Is the intention Townstar River replace the current Townstar competition, or will both modes be playable concurrently? Oh, so yeah, we talked about this before. There'll be persistent forever mode. You build up your town, you have it last, and then we'll have competition mode. So 2 different modes. What's next? What's next on our agenda, Michelle?
I think our whole next segment is just Mal leaking stuff. So
Now, before we do that, Resource, did you have anything you wanted to add? So everybody remember, Resource basically runs Townstar Live production. Any notes or updates?
Way to call me out. I do not have anything of consequence, but hello, everybody. I'm happy to be here.
How's stuff on the team in the last couple of weeks?
Things are crazy. We're just pounding pavement and trying to make things better for Townstar Live, and we've got some fun stuff coming up, and I'm not going to be the source of a leak. Don't push me. But there is some fun stuff coming up, and I'm excited for you guys.
Yeah, Townstar Live team's working really hard. And one of the questions somebody asked before was, why are there so many bugs? Actually, part of that is due to the way the game is built. It's built on Play Canvas. We've talked about this before. I'll cover it again just real quick. Built on an engine and system called Play Canvas, which has a couple of issues with. It's a little bit difficult for a large team of multiple people to work on at the same time. And also, our code is, in Townstar Live, is client authoritative. That opens up, just all kinds of issues with cheaters and people want to exploit the code. So that just takes extra time to deal with it. So it's just kind of a big, heavy, bulky system that's a little awkward at times to jump in there, make strategic fixes, and jump out. But that being said, I know because Resource sends a report each week about the features that get done plus the bugs that get fixed. There's bug fixing going on in the background all the time. It's a matter of how quickly can we get to them and address them. And again, part of the reason we're going to go the Godot engine and system is because we can rewrite the code, bring it over into a new architecture, make it much easier to jump in and make quick fixes and changes going forward. So thanks for sharing that, Resource. Appreciate that. Let's jump to leaks. Mal's, are we still calling this Mal's Minute? Mal's Minute of Leaks?
Feel like this is just my cue to say hi. Leaks were mentioned. My bat signal was let out. So just thought I'd come say hi, make sure the leaks are leaked.
Atomic, welcome. Thanks for joining us and saying hello.
Always hovering around for those leaky leaks.
Always.
So I think most people have seen the sugar changes, but I'll read them out anyway. So the coming changes will be cakes will require 6 sugar instead of 10. Pumpkin pie will now require 5 sugar and not 10. But the eggs will be increased from 5 to 10. So you need more eggs, less sugar for the pumpkin pie. Sugar will sell for 2,300 and not 2,950. So it's small change. Sugarcane require 4 water to grow, not 8, which is a nice change to the water. Sugar requires 3 sugarcane and 1 wood instead of 6 sugarcane and 2 wood. So they are some pretty big changes to sugar. They are core changes, not meta changes, so they will remain in place. I wanted to also tell everyone that for the first time, I think in Townstar, I'm going to put an Easter egg in the game. And I don't mean like a normal Easter bunny type egg Easter. We mean like the leaky leak type Easter eggs. And I just wanted to announce that because I'm really happy because I've always wanted to do that. On that note, I don't actually have the current leak. An image leak. It was not sent to me last night on time, unfortunately. That's okay because that means it'll be a nice weekend leak. Whenever I get it, it'll just appear most likely, which is always fun. But what I can share is that it'll be a bakery ghost card for the competition on Tuesday, so another leak for there. This will be to speed, obviously, the crafts in the bakery, which I'm sure, I feel confident this will be a useful one moving forward. So that's what I've got on the leaks.
Awesome. So I'm just looking at sort of the discussion chats there. What do you guys think about this? That's a lot of stuff, a lot of changes, Mel. You say core changes, not meta changes.
Yeah, these are core changes, so there'll be the base of how how everything runs, even when there's a meta change on, there's still things that remain in place always, kind of thing. This will be one of those.
Wow, feels like retuning. Nice.
Yes,
What do you guys think about?
Yeah, just so everyone knows, as I mentioned previously about the Lamb Rush, I was having a chat with Farmer Michelle last night, and I've got some other ideas to try and just ease off Land Rush and just make it so it's not game over. You don't feel too like you've lost out over a bad spot. We're definitely working on that, and I do think there's ways to ease it up. I know there's two sides of the camp because people bought a lot of NFTs around Land Rush. People have strategy around Lamb Rush, and then there's the people who just don't like a Lamb Rush, and we understand that. So I just think there's some things we can do to definitely ease that burden. So expect some more core changes, and maybe some changes that you probably weren't expecting, but they're all intended to make things much better for all the players.
Yeah, that conversation we had last night was awesome. I am so excited about things that are coming in terms of Land Rush. It's gonna be really nice.
Just check in the the feedback there. Some people like, awesome changes. Can't wait to find the Easter egg. Game changing. There's a change that needed to happen for high tier recipes. Less water, heart eyes. I'm just going to keep smiling, Sir Pickles. All right, so I saw Farmer Michelle, you did note that the game update will happen Tuesday morning. Monday's a holiday here in the US, so look for that change to happen.
Yes, I'm not sure exactly what time we're going for. I don't know, Resource, if you have any idea what time we're shooting for in the morning. I would imagine a couple of hours before the competition starts is probably the goal.
That is the goal.
Cool. Hopefully it'll be nice and smooth, and we'll just cruise right into the competition.
That is what we hope, but we do appreciate everyone that pushing on the Monday is obviously so you can practice as well as getting any final kinks out. But this is just this Tuesday. It's okay. We'll be fine. We'll get through it.
Awesome. So, guys, any last minute things to share or talk about before we take off today? It's been a good session. Thanks everybody for joining us. I'm watching chat roll up there. Oh, okay. Well, here's one from Family Man. With the development of Town Star Forever, are you guys looking to balance between casual and competitive, or is one aspect going to be more emphasized than the other? Definitely a balance. Competition is pretty hardcore. It can be pretty brutal to new players, and I also like the longevity of a forever game, and that allows us a little bit more ramp up time in terms of difficulty and prompts, and I want to call it in-game tutorials or kind of teaching moments. Definitely there. Let's see, Megipto. Moving.
The idea of moving buildings around. People have definitely been asking for that for a while. I know we had talked about it ages ago when we first started talking about gems and thinking about maybe having it as a gems option or adding some type of in-game portal so you could swap a building from one spot to another. But I don't know. I don't know where those conversations all ended up, to be honest.
Yeah, they would sync conversations the last time I remember. It's definitely something people want, the ability to move. I like the idea of trying to, if it wasn't if it was either a sync or something where you would, instead of spending cash, you might pay stars or something. I feel like we could, make some features, fun, different types of. But we definitely had conversations around it, and it's definitely something I think that could go in the game, do well.
I think it'd be cool just if we could swap all of the stuff that's in one building to another building in case you accidentally built your warehouse in the wrong spot and now it's full and you don't want to nuke it, but it's in the way.
Yeah.
That happens to me a lot. Maybe that's what that person meant by being punishing if you put the building in the wrong spot. Because if you've got to flush 10 or 9 cakes because your building is in the wrong spot, I can see that being very punishing.
Yeah, that gets to the question of, it kind of gets back to the question of system balance versus fun. Sometimes it feels expensive. Like if you just look at it from a pure system point of view, a cost being associated with moving a building or doing construction seems completely logical. But then as a game maker, creative person, I like to think about what's the kind of the bigger picture on it. Rebuilding your town, changing it up a bit. And that's something, if people are loving doing that and want to kind of really craft their little space there, it feels like we need to make it a little bit less brutal, right? A little less, a little more forgiving, if you will. So we'll look at that. I don't know the answer. I don't know what the number will be, but that's just kind of high level thinking there. It's part of the strategy. No moving buildings. Okay. Proper planning. Well, there's difference between persistent mode, right, and competition mode too, right? Maybe we have different sets of rules for those. But the big message is let's try to make fun. Okay. Any team here? Anything else we want to share before we're ready to let everybody get back to their days?
I don't have anything else. I don't know if there's any other live questions quick or if everyone's just done. Seems like pretty much done.
Yeah, it seems so.
Did everyone check the announcements out? There was some notes in there from the town council meetings. Very interesting story. Yeah, I know. We went down the town council archives and we hadn't heard from the farmer in some time, so we just went down to check. And yeah, it seems to be a bit of a strange mystery unfolding. I don't know.
Yeah, the place was a mess. All those chickens got in there, tossed all those papers around. A disaster.
Yeah. We were there all night, cleaning up, trying to find notes, make some sense of it, but we're just going to have to keep looking.
Interesting. People have to check that out. I'm looking at it right now. So sorry for that awkward pause there. It's like, oh, wait a minute, what's going on? Well, cool. Everybody, thank you for joining us today. As always, appreciate everybody stopping by, saying hello, sharing your notes and questions. Everybody on our team as well. Resource, Volcron, I think jumped off, Top Boy, Atomic, jumping in at the last minute there when the leak bat signal popped up. And of course, Mal and Farmer Michelle, thank you. I think we'll just wrap that up. What do you think, Farmer Michelle?
Sounds good. Let's head into the weekend.
Woo-hoo. Have a happy weekend, everybody. I'm going to stay here again, watching everybody until someone bounces in and shuts the stage down.